Well, now that we've got you all excited about new plants for your garden, we're going to switch gears and talk about some care that some plants that you may already have in your garden may need right now. And since it is spring and it's Oklahoma gardening, we definitely have to do a segment on pruning. And what we're going to do today is actually prune or limb up a shrub to look like a small tree. Now, you've probably seen this done before. It's very common with Yaupon hollies, but it also will work very well for other types of shrubs. Now, here we have our deciduous holly, and this is another one of the shrubs that this works very well for. And before we start cutting, I want to go over a few of the tools that you need before you start any pruning process. You'll need your hand pruners, and remember, hand pruners are for stems that are up to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. You don't want to cut any stems that are over that with your hand pruners because you'll ruin your hand pruners, and it's also very hard on your hand. So if they get over 3/4 of an inch, then you'll want to move to the loppers, and these will cut anywhere from 3/4 of an inch up to 1.5 inches in diameter. So that's what your loppers are for. And if you've got branches that are bigger than that, you're going to need to get out that pruning saw. So it's a good idea before you go out to start pruning to get all of these tools together and also your gloves, and then you'll be ready to go. Now on our deciduous holly, we need to kind of step back and look at this. And what we're wanting to do here is we're wanting to take and expose some of this nice wood. And you can see we've got some very nice trunks here. It's kind of a multi-stemmed shrub, and we're going to want to expose these. And what we would pretty much start with here, we'll start cutting all of these suckers that you see at the bottom. And it's very common for trees that grow like this to have these suckers. So that's what I'm going to start with. I'll start cutting all these suckers out. And this is another reason why your loppers are good, because you can get in there with your long handles and they're pretty easy to cut. Now this will take a while, but it's also pretty easy to tell what it is that you need to cut. We want all this small sucker stems out of here. So I'm going to continue to cut these and then we'll move on. Well, I've finished cutting away all the suckers, and you'll notice that I moved the mulch back so that I could cut those off at the ground level. And some of those can be tangled in there quite a bit, so you might have to cut the top off and then come back and cut them back a little bit closer to your branches. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my branches, and you kind of want to decide how far up you're going to trim all of this twiggy growth off. And I'd say about 2 feet here we'll have a nice length of our branches here. And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to be looking for any dead or diseased twigs, and that's just standard pruning. You always want to prune off any dead or diseased wood. So I'm just going along, and what I'm doing is I'm removing these twiggy branches that are lower, and I'll just take those off, and again, those come off very well with my hand pruners. Now as I'm taking these little twigs off, again, you want to remember another one of your standard pruning rules is that when you prune a twig or a branch off, and here's a good one I can show you right here, that when you prune it off, you don't want to prune it back flush with the trunk. You want to come out to where this collar is, and you can see right here how it stays large and then it narrows down. You're going to want to prune it off right there where that collar ends, and that will just heal over a lot faster for you. So you just come in with your pruners right there at that collar and make your cut. So it isn't flush with that branch, but it's where that starts to narrow down again. And I'm basically gonna clean all of these off all the way around. I'll get my glove back on here. My tree. Now, here we've run into something else that's a standard pruning practice. You want to remove any branches that are crossing, because you can even see what's happening here is that these branches are actually rubbing together, and that can cause problems later on. So, and this branch again crosses here and on out, and it's actually just kind of shading out this other branch. So what we're going to do is we'll just take this entire branch out here at the base. And what I'm probably going to have to do is get my saw out and do that. That's at a very strange angle. So we'll come back and take that out in a minute. I may be able to go ahead and just clip that off at the top here, and then we can come back and get the bottom later. And sometimes you have to do this. You have to just take the top off first and come back and get that bottom. But you can see how it's been rubbing here, and we just really don't need that branch in there anymore. It's not adding to our structure of our tree, and again, it was crossing a lot. The other thing that we would want to remove would be any of the branches that were growing in towards the middle of the tree. And this one's just down a little too low for us anyway. But like this, where it's coming back towards the middle, that's going to fill in, so we want to take it off too. And I'll just continue to clean up here. Now again, I said you've seen this probably a lot on Yopon hollies. It's also fairly common practice to do with crepe myrtles down south. You know, as you go further south and you see those beautiful crepe myrtle trees and all of their trunks are exposed, they have beautiful bark. Well, the reason that we don't do that as much here in Oklahoma, especially up in the northern part of the state, is because crepe myrtles tend to freeze back to the ground every few years, and so they don't get a chance to grow tall enough to do that. So we tend to keep our crepe myrtles more as a bush, and some people have them trained as small trees in their yard, but we're not able to get those large trees. However, with the deciduous holly, that's a lot more cold tolerant. We can do this. Our Yopon holly, also a southern wax myrtle, is a good shrub to do this with. Now this part is a little time consuming, but it's also kind of fulfilling because it's pretty easy to clip all these little branches off with the clippers. You can really feel like you're getting a lot done. Well, now that I've removed all that twiggy growth, I've also checked for any dead limbs. It's also a good thing to do at this time. If you've got some branches that are coming out over a walkway like we've got here, you could go ahead and prune those back as well. And I'm just going to clip a few of those back here so that we won't run into them when we walk through here. I've got a couple right down here that I want to just clip back. And then we're pretty much ready to go. Now, if we wanted to, we could do a little bit of clipping back here on the top. This actually has a pretty nice shape to it already. And if we go down here and look and see what we've done, you'll see the difference in this shrub. It really does look like a small tree. You can see how you can actually see through it now. And it shows off this nice bark that we have here. And also, this is a really good thing to do if you have night lighting or you're thinking about putting it in. If we had the shrub here, once it's got leaves on it, it would actually block the light. But if we limit up like this, that light will actually show off these nice trunks at night. So this is a good way to prune some of those larger shrubs that have that multi-stemmed trunk into smaller trees. Now, as we talk about pruning right now, just remember that you want to prune any of those shrubs that bloom in the summer, but you don't want to prune any of your early spring blooming shrubs because you'll be pruning off those blooms.
We hope you've enjoyed this classic from the Oklahoma Gardening Vault. Remember, even though these tips and techniques are timeless, there's always something new to learn in the world of gardening. By subscribing to both Oklahoma Gardening and OK Gardening Classics, you'll have access to a wealth of gardening knowledge, both classic and contemporary.